at it one by one. So the 4-5 factors we are going to see is one is addition of errors. Second thing we are going to see is subtraction of errors. Third thing we are going to see is multiplication. Then division. And finally, exponents. Exponents or powers. Okay. So now students, listen to me. This is a very interesting topic. You need to know how errors basically behave in all these types of uh, in all these types of logics, and we'll go through it one by one. Okay, let's talk about addition. Now, suppose students, I have an object. This object is a cylinder, and what I do is basically I have a scale which is only this much in length. Let's say I have two scales. So I want to measure, I don't have a big scale, okay? I have two scales. And both the scales are half of its length, half of the cylinder's length. So let's say this is my scale number 1. That 10 rupees ka scale. And another scale is like this. So these are my two scales. Now what I do is basically I'm trying to try to measure this with the help of these two scales. What I do, students, is first I have a maybe a sellotape or something. I have something which I can use to stick one scale at a time. So let's say I stick the scale over here. This scale is stuck to it. Now I'm trying to measure this much, this distance. This scale is stuck to it. You forget that. Now this scale, this part of the cylinder, you forget. I am using this scale to measure this much distance. Okay, this much distance. So what I get first, students, I get some x value. I measure it 2-3 times. So I get some x1 value, x2 value, x3 value, some x4 value, and so on and so forth till xn. So many times I measure it, I get so many types of different measurements. Okay, these measurements are slightly different, slightly. So it's of course it's going to be slight different. Somewhere I got 4.1 means somewhere I got 4.2. Okay, just some small things. And what I do now is, students, now I stick this and I try to measure this part of the cylinder. So I get some y1, I get some y2, I get some y3, and I get some y4, and so on and so forth. So students, basically with the help of this type of an example, I can understand that my result R, let's call that R, is going to be x plus y. Okay, but students, I had taken so many measurements, x1, x2, x3, so many measurements, y1, y2, y3. So of course, the result also with respect to x1, y1 is going to change. It's going to be some r. Of course, this is all addition. So r1, r2, r3. So you can see, can I say that the change in this result is equal to the change in this x values and plus y values? Can I say that much? Are you all able to understand that much? That the change in this result here will be equal to the change in this x measurement and y measurement, addition of x measurement and y measurement. So I can, students, can I write it? See, look here. Change in anything, no? Change in anything in physics is denoted as delta. This means change. This small thing means change. So if I write delta r, it means change in r. If I write delta x, it means change in x. If I write delta y, it means change in y. So right now, with the help of this result, so many results I got, I can say that the change in my result will be the change in the x measurement plus the change in the y measurement. I can say that the change in the result is basically the change in the x measurement plus the y measurement. Students, listen to me carefully. This can also be mathematically represented as dr is equal to dx plus dy. Now, of course, we have to come to this. You might not understand this, but listen to me. This delta can be written as this delta R means what? Change in R. Change in R can also be written as dr. Dr means basically change in R. Dx is meaning change in x. Dy means change in y. Is this clear, everyone? Can you all respond? Everyone? Can you all respond?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I'm making it very clear for you. I just took measurements like this. I took one scale. I took measurements, keeping one scale stuck to this cylinder. I took some measurements. So many times I got x1, x2, x3. Similarly, other scale I took. I stuck the other scale, y1, y2, y3. Because of that, my result also kept changing. Then I simply told you that the change in this result is equal to the change in this x plus this change in this y. That can be written as this triangle. This triangle means delta. This triangle means delta. Delta simply means change. Delta simply means change. So change in result is equal to change in x plus change in y. But students, in mathematics, this delta can be represented as dr. It is called differentiation. Differentiation, we will come to that, don't worry. But in other words, you can also look at it in this way, that it is going to be a change in result equal to change in x plus change in y. Okay. So if this is clear, let's look at an example. Let's look at an example. Let's say that I have an expression, students, wherein I have these values, that x is some 1 plus or minus 0.1. See, plus or minus 0.1 means this much error I can make. This much measurement I took, so many times I took, but I got my error somewhere to be, see, somewhere I got 1, somewhere I got 1.01. So this is my x, total x, okay, 1 plus or minus 0.1, where this is the least error I can make. You remember the concept least count? You remember the least count concept, all of you?
Yes,
The least measurement, that least error that I can make here is 0.1. This also is called tolerance, students. This is also called tolerance. You must have been familiar with this word, tolerance. Okay, it also means how much error can be tolerated. Okay, students, so listen to me. When I say that when you go to Chroma and when you buy a TV, that if the sales fellow tells you that my TV is 29 inches plus or minus 0.5 inches, 5 inches, say your TV is 29 inches plus or minus 5 inches, if he is telling you, that means your TV can be either 29 plus 5 or your TV can be 29 minus 5. You understood, no? This many inches ka difference can be there. He's telling you plus or minus 5. Okay. That means you'll have to tolerate this much error. That's a lot. 5 inches is a lot of error. So anyways, you understood this, no? What is x? X is 1 plus or minus 0.1. Okay. Similarly, I'm telling you y is some 2 plus or minus 0.2. Okay. 2 plus or minus 0.2. So now listen to me. If I have to add this, if I have to add normally, just without the least count, forget the least count now. If I just have to add it normally, what will be my expression? X plus y equal to 3. Yes or no? 1 plus 2 equal to 3. Forget that least count for now. So x plus y is equal to 3. Okay. But if I consider the error also, that is the least count here, then maybe at some point, maybe this x, which I can write as delta x, okay, change in x can be how much? Can be 1.1, maximum 1 plus 0.1. And the change in y, delta y, can also be how much? 2.2, 2 plus 0.2, 2.2. It can be this much. With the error, I'm saying that this can be the change in x and this can be the change in y. So in this case, students, listen to me. Can I write that my result delta r, can be delta x plus delta y? Delta x plus delta y. So how much is that, student? How much is that? 1.1 plus 2.2 is how much?
3.3.
To be 3.3. What this means, students? What this means? This means that my change in the result. See, earlier what we found out? We found out x is this much, y is this much. Okay, x is 1, y is 2, and this x has a least count of 0.1. That means maximum this much error can be there. In y also maximum this much error can be there. First I calculated this without this error at all. I said x plus y equal to 3. Fine, this should be my original measurement. But considering the least count, considering the error, I can say that the change in x can be some 1.1. I can say that the change in y can be some 2.2. So in that case, my change in result also will be some delta x plus delta y. That is the 1.1 plus 2.2, that is 3.3. So students, here is a catch. What is the catch? That the errors are getting added. What is the catch? Errors are getting added. That is what you have to keep in mind. Error is added. Okay, error is added. Okay. Now, if this is understood, let's come to a topic called subtraction. Let's see what subtraction is. Okay, let's see what subtraction. Similar concept. Similar concept. Let me say that my y is some random. Let's say y is some 5 plus or minus 0.1. Okay, and x is somewhere around 7 plus or minus 0.2. Great. 5 plus or minus 1 and 7 plus or minus 0.2. These are my two measurements. Okay. Now let me say that x minus y will be what? X minus, forget the least count error. Forget this error. 7 minus 5, 2. Isn't it? So x minus y is 2. What is this? This is my r, no? This is my result. Okay. But this result is without considering the error. Now, if I have to consider the error, I will say what? That my delta x is what? Delta x is here is, let's say it is 7.2. And let's say that delta y is how much? 5. Let's reduce it. Let's reduce it. Let's 5. See, it is plus or minus 0.1. I can even consider minus. So let's say 5 minus 0.1. So what it will be?
4.9.
4.9. Students, listen to me. Why I took 4.9? It is plus or minus 0.1. I can take plus 0.1 also. I can take minus 0.1 also. So I took delta y 4.9. Now look here. If I have to follow this, what is going to be my delta x minus delta y? Can you tell me? Delta x minus delta y will be equal to what? 7.2 minus 4.9 is how much?
2.3.
How much?
2.2.
How much? How much are you getting?
2.3.
2.3.
2.3. 1 minute. Did I make a mistake here?
12.1.
12.1.
It's
Isn't it?
subtraction, na?
Yes. So how much are you getting?
2.3.
2.3.
Yes, 2.3. So look here. Yes, someone is telling some other number only. I don't know what. Okay. So look here. Look here. What is the least count here? Tell me. What is the least count here?
0.3.
Can you see what is that? Isn't it getting added?
Yes.
Isn't
Yes,
is the least count getting added? Yes or no?
Yes.
Someone gave me some random number. I don't know. Please don't give me some random numbers. Look here. So see here, what is happening? Error is getting added. Even in case of subtraction, the error is getting added, students. Okay. So remember, in case of addition, in case of subtraction. What I'm saying, in case of addition and in case of subtraction, what is going to happen? Your errors are going to get added up. Your errors are going to get added up. Okay. Now, if this is understood, if you have understood this, let's go to another topic called multiplication. Multiplication, see, look here. Multiplication is also known as fractional error. Okay. Fractional error. So listen to me. If suppose I say that my result this time is not x plus y, let me say it is some x into y. Okay, so it becomes multiplication. So now, if I have to consider the change in result, students. Okay, change in result. This time it is not going to be. How can I write this? Can I say that it is the change in result will be, see, when you are measuring in terms of multiplication, what you will do, you will measure one variable with respect to the other variable, and after that you will measure this variable with respect to this variable. That is how multiplication is basically done. That is how multiplication is done. So here, look here. the change in result will be change in x keeping y constant plus change in y keeping x constant. This is going to be my change in result. You understood that? See, I am going to measure both of these variables and I am going to measure them differently, separately. So if I'm measuring them separately, I can say first I measured x keeping y constant and then I measured y keeping x constant. So the change in result, students, in multiplication, the change in result in multiplication will be written down as delta r equal to delta x into y plus delta y into x. Okay, now listen to me. If this is understood, divide this entire equation with r. Divide the entire equation with the result. So what is it? It is going to be delta r by r upon delta x into into y upon r upon delta y into x upon r. But students, what is r? R is xy. So substitute that. Substitute that. What you will get? You will get delta x y upon xy plus delta y x upon xy. So here x and x get cancelled, y and y get cancelled. So what you are getting? Delta r upon r. Delta r upon r equals to delta x upon x plus delta y upon y. Okay, so that becomes my original expression for fractional error. That is the mean. This is called fractional error. This is also called multiplication because you are multiplying your two variables here and getting a result here. Both the names are going to be the same. So look here. Why it is called fractional error? Because we are dividing it by r here. Otherwise, what it would have been? Delta r equal to delta x into y plus delta y into x. Remember here. Now this fractional error is called, okay. Now listen to me. This fractional error, delta r upon r, is equal to what, students? Delta x upon x plus delta y upon y. I want you to remember this. That's it. I want you to remember this. This will make life easy. This will make life easy. So what? Let me write the expression again here. That it is going to be delta r by r is going to be equal to delta x by x plus delta y by y. Okay. Delta r by r equal to delta x by x plus delta y by y. This is our fractional error. This is our fractional error. So let's look at some examples of this. Let me say that I have, some equation here that r is equal to x cube y square. X cube y square. Okay. So how will I write this, students? Look here. How will I write this? Look here, students. You know that delta r upon r equals to delta x upon x plus delta y upon y. You know this. Okay. I am asking you to find out the change in, I am asking you to find out the fractional error. Okay. I am asking you to find out the fractional error, result in the fractional error. So look here, students. What you will do, this exponent is here, no? 3. And this exponent here 2. You will bring it down. Where you will bring it? You will bring it next to this fraction. So this x cube is there. X cube is there. I will write it as 3. Then I will write delta x upon x mod function. Okay. Plus this exponent is there 2 here. I will bring aside and I will write delta y by y. Is that clear? Okay. Whatever exponents is there, you will bring it down like this. Is that clear? You will bring it besides the fractional error of delta x upon x plus delta y upon y. Everyone, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
this is the fractional error, students. Let's take another example. No, let's take another example. Let's say that it is, now you all should do it. Okay, without basically calculating or anything. See, r is equal to, let's say, is going to be some x raised to 5, y raised to 2, and z raised to say 7. So what will you write now? You will write delta r by r equal to delta x by x plus delta y by y plus delta z by z. Yes or no? I just added a z variable. That means I can write this like this also, no? What is there? Okay, so I wrote it like that. Now what I will do? I will take this exponents and bring it down. So if I bring this exponents down, I'll get 5 delta x by x of course, please put this mod function, and I will tell you why. Okay, why we put the mod function? Just now we saw that in addition and subtraction, both the cases, students, what is happening? Both the cases, errors are getting added up. So that is the reason we are taking this mod. If this exponent turns out to be negative, if the, okay, we'll look at that example also. What happens when the exponents are negative? That also we'll look. But for now, what will be the answer for this? Phi delta x upon x plus what is y exponent? 2 delta y upon y plus 7 delta z upon z.
Z.
Delta z upon z. Now let's look at another example. Let's say that I have taken a negative exponent, or let's say I am taking an example like this. Let's say r is going to be equal to x raised to 3, y raised to 4, and square root of z raised to 5. So look here, how can I write this? How can I write this? Can I write it as x cube y raised to 4? This red is z over here. This square root can be written as 1 by 2 z upon 1 by z raised to 1 by 2, and since it is 5, it can be written as 5 by 2. Can you all agree with me to that? Can I write this like this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I can, yeah, now I can write this as x cube y raised to 4. Take the z up, so it will be z raised to minus 5 by 2. Yes or no? Now look here.
Yeah.
If this is my r, then what will be delta r by r? Delta r by r, students, will be here. Listen to me. It is going to be 3 delta x by x plus 4 delta y by y. But students, listen to me. This is a mod function. Mod function means anything which goes inside this is going to be positive. So here I will take plus, students. I will put this 5 by 2 inside the mod function, 5 by 2, and I will write delta z by z. Delta z by z. So what happened here? What happened here? This when this 5 by 2, sorry, it is going to be minus 5 by 2, isn't it? Yeah, it is going to be minus 5 by 2. So now, if I have to write this again, I can write delta r by r equals to 3 into delta x by x plus 4 into delta y by y. Okay, of course, this is a mod. And but now, students, look here. Minus 5 by 2 is inside the mod function here. So if I remove the 5 by 2, if I remove minus 5 by 2 from the mod, what it will become? It will become positive. So I will write 5 by 2 delta z by z. So you can see here that the negative value, negative sign over here vanished. There is no negative sign at all. Why? Because we are using a mod function. Another way of thinking of it is basically errors always get added. They will not subtract. So even though it is raised to a minus 5 by 2 component, okay, even though it is raised to this exponent here, okay, we will be taking the positive value of that. We will be taking the positive value of that. Okay, everyone clear? Let's look at the
Yes, sir.
next example. Next example, students, is division. So just now actually I had done division also, but look here. Division. Oh, my marker ink is gone. When I'm talking about division, I am telling you that if r is given as r is given by x by y, r is given as x by y, you can write this x by y as x y raised to minus 1. Can you write it as x y raised to minus 1? And then simply solve it using that only. Delta r by r equal to delta x by x plus delta y by y. And take the exponents down, students. What will you get? What will you get? You will get delta r by r equal to, for x component is what, students? What is the exponent of x here? Students, is my voice breaking or what? My voice is breaking.
No, sir.
First,
It's okay, no? Okay. So
Yes.
here exponent of x is 1. So I will take 1. So I will write it as it is, delta x by x. And exponent of y is minus 1. I will take that minus 1 inside this mod function, and I will write delta y by y. Ultimately, what I will get? I will get delta x by x. I'll remove this minus 1 outside of this mod function. Basically, anything which goes inside the mod function turns out to be positive. So ultimately, I will get delta x by x plus delta y by y. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
yes. Yes,
So
sir.
that is multiplication, and that is, so we saw all the four functions of multiplication and division. Okay, there seems to be someone. Uh, my voice is echoing, students. Can you all wait? I'll mute all of you. Wait. Okay. So in case you don't have any sound besides you, any noise, then you can unmute yourselves. Okay. So now listen to me. Let's do some examples. Okay. Let's say r is equal to x square into y. So if I'm taking x square into y, students start solving it. I'm asking you to find out the fractional error. What will it be? Delta r by r equal to, what I will do? I will take this 2 down and I will write delta x by x. And what is this y? It is plus 1. So of course I will write it as delta y by y. You don't need to write that x 1 over there. Okay. Now this much is understood. Let's look at another example. Let's say that I am taking this example. R is equal to x raised to minus 1, y raised to 4, and z raised to say some 2. So if I'm taking it like that, I can find a fractional error delta r by r equal to, what is this? Raised to minus 1, x raised to minus 1. So I'll take this minus 1 inside the mod function. Delta x by x plus 4 can be written as, 4 can come out here, 4 delta y by y plus 2, this of course don't forget this, delta 2 delta z by z. Okay. Just a minute, students. Just a minute. Lot of problems with the ink. I'm having a lot of problems with the ink. Okay, so if that is understood, let's go to another important concept here, students. Can you all unmute yourselves? If in case you all are having noise, please don't. All of you all unmute yourselves. Let's look at order of magnitude. Order of students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So look here, I'm talking about order of magnitude. So when I'm talking about order of magnitude now, okay, what will it be? Let's say in your NCERT books it is given like this: A into 10 raised to B. A into 10 raised to B, where A is the number between 1 and 10. A is the number between 1 and 10. Okay, students, here A into 10 raised to B. A is the number between 1 and 10. B is any plus or minus exponent. Plus or minus exponent. Okay, so one more thing. Okay, so look here, students. This is the basic example given to you in your NCERT books. We are talking about order of magnitude now. Listen to me carefully. I am telling you that any number which is given to you in the form of a into 10 raised to b, any number which is given to you in the form of a into 10 raised to b, then you have to, if the question is find out the order of magnitude, basically you have to find out what b is. Okay, you have to find out what the exponent b is. Okay, that is what you have to find out. That is the order of magnitude. How do we do that? See students, if a is the number between 1 and 10, if there is any number between 1 and 10, here if suppose this a is any number between 1 and 10 and b is any positive or negative exponent, that means this exponent here 10 raised to b can be any number. It can be a plus sign, it can be a negative sign also. Okay, then what you have to do, if this a is less than or equal to 5, listen to me, if a is less than equal to 5, okay, you will round off that a to 1. You will round it off to 1. Yes, yes, please tell me. Anyone has a doubt? Okay, see, look here, I am saying that a into 10 raised to b is the form of a number. Okay, and if I have to find out the order of magnitude, I will try to find out that exponent here, that b, that is my order of magnitude. Now I am telling you that a, if it is in between, a can be any number between 1 and 10, and this b can be any positive or negative exponent. Okay, so what you have to do, students, now you have to round off. If a is less than equal to 5, then round it off to 1. If a is between 5 and 10, you will round it off to 10. Okay, you will round it off to 10. For example, let me give you an example. Let's say that there is this number 233, and I am telling you to find out the order of magnitude. Okay, look at this first. I have to do what? I have to write it in the form of a into 10 raised to b. So I will write it. So I can say that this 233 can be written in the form of 2.33 into 10 raised to 2. Can I say it? 2.33 into 10 raised to 2.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have written it like this.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now you have to check. What is a? What is the value of a? Is a less than 5? Is
Yes,
a less than 5? Yes. A
Yes.
is less than
Yes.
5. A is less than 5. Okay. Then what I will say, that this b is, this b, that 2. Here b is 2. Order of magnitude will be 2. But if I take another example, let me say this example is some 623 into 10 raised to 2. Let me say it is 6. 1 minute. This is my number. Now how can I write this? I can write this as 6.23 into 10 raised to how much? 4 I can write? Yes or no? I can
Yes,
write
sir.
this
Yes, sir.
6.23 into 10. If anyone does not know how this is happening, then also no problem. Message me privately in 5 seconds. Okay, and I will address this issue. Okay, now look here. This is the number 623 into 10 raised to 2. I have written it down as 6.23 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, now what happened? Is this number greater than 5 or less than 5? It is greater than 5.
Greater.
It is greater than 5 here. A is between 5 and 10. If your number a is between 5 and 10, what you will do? You will add. You will have to multiply it with another 10. So if I multiply it with another 10, can I write it as 0. Can I write it down as 0.623 into 10 raised to 5? Can I write it like this?
Yes,
0.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is going to be my magnitude here? It is going to be 5. What is it going to be? It is going to be 5. See, listen to me. I just took this number 623 into 10 raised to 2. Second thing what I did, I wrote it in the form of a into 10 raised to b. That is 6.23 into 10 raised to 4. Third thing what I did, I checked whether my a, this a here, is less than 5 or greater than 5. I found out that it is greater than 5. So in case this rule, it is in your NCERT books. If it is greater than 5, what I have to do? Just multiply this entire number with 10. If I multiply it with 10, I can say that it is 0.623 into 10 raised to 5. So here what will happen? The order of magnitude becomes 5 and not 4. It becomes 5 and not 4. Is that clear, everyone? Everyone clear? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can we take some examples? We will take some examples now. Students, there seems to be only 1 minute left. So we'll do one thing. We will take the examples tomorrow and we'll start with a new concept, new chapter tomorrow. I am taking your attendance now. Please stay online. Please stay online. Anyone has a doubt in today? Whatever concepts which was taught today, anyone? You all can tell me now. I'm looking at
No,
the chat
sir.
as well. Anyone has a
No,
problem personally? Listen to me, students. Listen to me. Okay. Now, this concepts which I'm teaching you, keep your interest. Though I understand that somewhere you will get bored. Though I understand that somewhere you will not feel like doing it. Just keep that self-discipline and do it. It will help you. It will help you. 12th standard is based on all these concepts. You missed one concept here. Your entire 12th is gone. Your entire 12th is gone. So don't be in that position. Even if you look at it, 2-3 sums you practice a day, 2-3 sums.